We had Trevor on the other day. I'm curious what you think about this ongoing controversy now. The setup would be this, that Tatis hits that grand slam on a 3-0 count in a game where the Padres have a significant lead. But it also seemed like Jace Tingler did not come to his defense. And it also seemed like, if anything, Jace Tingler was defending his friends over in the Texas Ranger dugout. And so Padre fans have lost their minds to the point where, I'm not joking, people are online calling for Jace Tingler to be fired right now. So I'm just curious, what is your perspective on this whole Tatis Tingler controversy?
Yeah, well, let me start by saying, since I'm kind of out of the game, I haven't been plugged in real closely. I didn't see the game live. I've obviously, heard about it on Twitter, et cetera. I think there's a bunch of different things here at play. First of all, there are unwritten rules in baseball. I mean, there has to be. It's sort of it's a game that has a long tradition. However, the unwritten rules were written a long time ago in a different era, different style of game, et cetera. And also the biggest thing about the unwritten rules for me has always been well, when do they actually kick in? Is it 6 runs after 6? Is it 7 runs after 7? You can't steal. You can't do that. Can a pitcher throw a 2-0 breaking ball when they're 7 runs ahead late in the game? That type of thing. So it's always been that fine line for me. Knowing Fernando a little bit as I do, just watching him come up through the minor leagues, he's a great kid. There's nothing malicious about him. He's got that style and swagger and passion, but I never thought he was any kind of a hot dog at all. He just loves the game, plays with flair. So I don't think there was any animosity whatsoever on his part. And, with in terms of what the manager should or shouldn't do, probably you probably take it for your player. I think maybe you say, hey, I got lost in the game. I didn't give the take sign. I should have. And so, kind of take the heat off Fernando. He's a young rookie player, essentially. And he's gonna learn throughout it. But I didn't have a big problem with it. There's, especially in this season, Scott and Alex and you guys, it's a 60-game season. Every game is going to be critical, and every game is magnified to the point where I'm not letting off the gas at all, because every game could be the difference. And so I think you can throw out the unwritten rule book, particularly this season.
When they talk about these unwritten rules, we've seen now, this Padre team in particular, I know you said you haven't been plugged in, so let me kind of break down what's happened to them. Their bullpen has been absolutely awful. The reason why they're not in first place right now is their bullpen has basically blown games for them. And we've seen baseball in the last, 10 years, sometimes there's not enough runs to score because everybody can hit home runs, everybody can make a comeback on you. So those rules should really stop applying, because guys can put up 5 or 6 runs in the ninth, in the bottom of the ninth inning, because we've seen that before. So as a guy who's been in the game for so long, how do you get these rules to relax in dugouts and across baseball so guys aren't getting thrown at on the next pitch?
Yeah, it's also.
Oh, wait a second. We just had a little internet glitch.
I think might have gotten a call or something, or it might have just dropped.
Or Mark could have gotten a call. No, I think he's on his computer.
He was on a computer. Well, sometimes
I get a call on my computer and it drops this. That's when my mic goes off.
Really? Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Well, he was just about to give a really, I'm sure, insightful answer.
Because I'll be asking them bomb questions, man. I'll be asking them bomb questions.
But what's the problem with throwing at the next guy? I mean, if the guy violates, quote unquote, violates the unwritten rules that, as Mark says, were written a long ass time ago.
Because at this point in time, if you're the Texas Rangers at home, a place that's known for scoring runs, known for putting numbers on the board, you can make a comeback. So the fact that they would throw at this guy right after, it just makes no sense to me.
Yeah, but wait a second. And Mark's about to rejoin. You throw at Manny Machado,
who didn't hit the home run.
Okay, yeah, but that's what you're supposed to do. So you throw at Manny Machado, and then the next day, Tatis steals a base when the Padres are up and
6-0.
Yeah,
good.
And on the same pitcher that threw at Machado in a situation where you typically, unwritten rules, might not steal. So, I mean, Mark, you're back. I mean, I think that Tatis, he hit the home run, the grand slam. Then they threw at Machado. And then Tatis went and stole on him. mean, this is who this player is. This is who he is.
But the unwritten rule is the dumbest thing ever. Because
of course it is.
How does it apply? How does it apply to a young guy, flashy, trying to make a name for himself? Did the unwritten rule apply to a guy like Deion Sanders? Did it apply to a guy like Ken Griffey Jr.? Tony Gwynn has so much class, he probably had a level of respect for these unwritten rules. But for the most part, man, these unwritten rules are not for guys playing the game today. You cannot come down on these Latin guys, on Alex and his guys, for having fun and having passion when they play. And that's what this feels like to me. They're coming down on Alex and his guy.
Alex, they're coming down on you and your guys, man.
They're coming down on your people.
Mark,
Sorry, man. Am I back?
All good.
No,
Yes.
you're back, Mark. You're back in. You're back with us.
All this school online stuff, our Wi-Fi is on overload. I apologize.
Oh, no, it's all good. So we were having this whole conversation. Jump back in here. Tatis hits the grand slam. They throw at Manny Machado, and then Tatis steals on them in a situation where the Padres are up 6-0. So there definitely was a lot of back and forth then after. It wasn't just, he hits the grand slam. There was a lot more to it.
Yeah, I think once the Rangers take the step of throwing at the next guy, then it becomes, now it's escalating into something. I think, again, if you're up by 7 or 8 runs and you're stealing bases late in the game, that's one thing. But swinging on a 3-0 pitch, and hitting a home run, like I don't know if you heard me earlier, you could have easily just hit into a double play in that situation. You still have to. You're not taking advantage necessarily of the situation. You're just playing the game as it has been played the whole day before that.
As someone who's been on both sides, the managerial side and the player side, how does it play off? And I think maybe from the reports, it looks like maybe we're blowing it out of proportion, but how does it play off in the dugout when the manager kind of not trashes Tatis, but doesn't really have his back? He goes after Tatis publicly and not really against the Rangers throwing at Machado. How does that play in the locker room?
I'm not in that locker room, so and it sounds like Jace has built up a nice rapport with these guys. So again, when you've got a microphone in your face and somebody asks you that question and you make a comment, it's tough to judge on there. I think if that's a consistent pattern with a manager, and it's there's some guys that have continually done that throughout the years. I mean, Lou Piniella with the Cubs used to throw guys under the bus. I mean, he'd get up there and goes, "I got a guy throwing 50-foot curveballs. What do you want me to do?" Like on and on and on. This is about his own players, and that didn't play particularly well, and particularly this day and age, it would not play at all. These younger guys are used to kind of being protected and stuff. So I don't know Jace. I've never met him. I would imagine, he'd like to take that one back. I could be wrong, but I don't think it's going to cause a big riff in that locker room.
All right, let me ask you this question. What about Eric Hosmer? Eric Hosmer grabs a hold of Tatis in the dugout after it happens, and he's kind of schooling him. And, everybody knows that all the cameras are on. There's nothing else to look at. There's nothing in the crowd, right? I mean, the cameras are on the kid. And Hosmer's sitting there schooling him. To me, I thought the same thing. Like, hey, dude, rather than school him right there at the time, let this kid be himself. I don't understand what it's about. I mean, I'm not getting the whole unwritten rule thing. And for Tingler to not have his back, to then use these terms like, well, we'll use it as a teaching moment. I kept thinking to myself, who? You, Jace Tingler, are about to teach this kid who's like the face of baseball right now. Who are you? Do I know you? Like, where did you play? Like, how should I know your career? Are you Bruce Bochy? Did I miss this? Yeah,
I just don't think the swinging 3-0 is egregious enough of a breaking of an unwritten rule. It's very borderline anyway. I think, Scott, if you think about it in a football term, let's say a young rookie quarterback is up by 28 points and there's 3 minutes left, and he audibles to a play action pass and they throw a bomb for a touchdown. Now, that's probably much more egregious and a learning moment for that kid. And maybe somebody says something to him on the sideline. But gosh, I just I don't see it being. I think it's been much ado about nothing. Let's put it that way.
I agree.